Good afternoon to all our viewers. May we request everyone to prepare as our 2020 virtual recognition rites will start in a few minutes. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are about to start the 2020 virtual recognition rites of the UP School of Library and Information Studies. Distinguished guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, let us witness the entrance of iAGDON, class of 2020 of the University of the Philippines School of Library and Information Studies. The graduates of Bachelor of Library and Information Science. The graduates of Master of Library and Information Science. The President of the UP Library Science Alumni Association. Members of the UP SLIS faculty and staff. Former Dean Professor Johann Frederick A. Cabab. Former Dean Professor Kathleen Lourdes B. Obille. College Secretary, Professor Rhea Rowena U. Apolinario. Our Dean, Professor Mary Grace P. Golfo-Barcelona. And our guest of honor, our recognition speaker, ITLA President Christine Mackenzie. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philippine National Anthem, arranged by Professor Josefino Chino Toledo of the UP College of Music and performed by the UP Symphony Orchestra. This will be immediately followed by a minute of reflection, a moment of gratitude and appreciation. A pleasant afternoon to everyone. This is the virtual recognition rites for iAGDON class of 2020, graduates of the University of the Philippines School of Library and Information Studies. I am Mr. Elijah John F. Darjuan, your MC for this program. To formally welcome us to this occasion on her first recognition rites as the Dean of the UP School of Library and Information Studies, let us hear from Professor Mary Grace P. Golfo-Barcelona.
Thank you very much, Professor Elijah. To our distinguished guests, IFLA President Ms. Christine Mackenzie, our beloved parents, members of the iAGDON SLIS graduating class of 2020, my fellow faculty, members, and staff at the School of Library and Information Studies, our families, friends, and to all who are watching and celebrating with us online. A very pleasant afternoon. It is indeed an honor to be speaking before you and welcoming you to this very momentous and historic recognition ceremony of SLIS. Momentous because wasn't it just a few months ago when we thought that this long-awaited event in your college life would be postponed? Or worse, would no longer happen? Historic because this is the first time ever that the SLIS is holding its recognition rites virtually. Well, here we are, together, albeit in different geographic locations and time zones. A warm welcome to everyone. The pandemic that the whole world is experiencing has somehow affected our perspective of the world and how we value every milestone in our lives. It reminds us every day of the impermanence of every moment in our lives that we overlooked or forgot to thank for in the past. It teaches us to be grateful each day that we wake up alive, healthy, and strong. It also teaches us to look beyond our needs and wants and be more considerate of the needs of others around us. And more so, to be appreciative of what we have and have been given to us and the chance to be with the people we care for and love. These realizations give us more reason to celebrate today's events. Graduation and recognition ceremonies are events that call for a festive celebration. For us Filipinos, it is a time to bring together the whole family. In fact, the whole clan. Be festive and celebrate with a sumptuous meal, drinking, and even videoke. Sadly, none of this is allowable at present. However, this does not mean that the significance of this event is lessened. On the other hand, it even calls for an extraordinary celebration, for it signals your success. This recognition right is an announcement that you graduates are winners in each of your own unique ways as college students. Indeed, dear parents, you have raised winners, fighters who never gave up, and pilgrims who persisted despite all the tests and the challenges that your children have encountered in their journey. Congratulations. Our dear graduates, it was not that long ago when you first traveled along the University Avenue. As you entered UP the first time, the University Avenue is the main road that leads every UP student to the direction of the statue of Mr. Oblation at the administration building, which welcomes you with wide, outstretched arms and farther inside into the college, which became your second home. The University Avenue is the avenue of hope, of academic freedom, of honor, excellence, and compassion. It is the road that leads you to your training ground that would prepare you, scholar ng bayan, for the real world that awaits you once you completed your journey. You probably have walked down the University Avenue, limped along, run through, rode an ikot or toki jeep. However you traverse this road, your goal was to get to your destination. Always remember that in whatever way you trudge this avenue, how fast or how slow, what matters is you finish it and never gave up. You made it through, despite the challenges that came along your way. Na-iagdon ninyo ang inyong pag-aaral. Moreover, today's event does not only call for a celebration of your success alone, dear graduates. It is also fitting time, more than ever, to express your gratitude to all the people who helped you complete this journey. Thanks to your dear parents, families, professors, friends, and classmates. In a very real sense, your success is very much their success too. And now, as you again pass along the University Avenue, going out into the real world, always remember the values of honor, excellence, and compassion that this road symbolizes. Show the world what you acquired in your journey through this avenue. Lastly, as you start to travel into the highways and new avenues of your professional lives, and as you strive for excellence in your field, always keep in your heart honor and compassion. Because without these two values, your success is diminished. Be grateful for what you acquired from your UP journey. Share it generously, because I assure you, it will continuously replenish as you continuously give. Padayon iAGDON graduates, class of 2020, and to everyone, welcome to this celebration of success and Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much, Dean Mary Grace. This year's recognition rites is truly momentous, as mentioned earlier, since we are holding our first virtual recognition rites. This program is streamed live on YouTube and on Facebook. More than that, this event is truly special since we are celebrating the perseverance of our students in finishing the requirements to be called graduates. Our event is made even more significant as we are honored to have with us a very special guest. To introduce her to us, let us have one of our senior lecturers, the Deputy University Librarian of UP Diliman, Ms. Elvira B. Lapuz.
Thank you very much, Professor Juan. Good afternoon, everyone. Our recognition speaker for this year's UP SLIS Virtual Recognition Rites has a Bachelor of Arts degree, a graduate diploma in librarianship and management, a fellow of the Australian Library and Information Association, or ALIA, and a freelance librarian. She has had a long and successful career in libraries, and she retired as CEO of Yarra Plenty Regional Library Service in 2016. She is also a former manager of Brisbane City Council Library Service, the largest public library system in Australia. Okay. She was elected to the IPLA Governing Board as its treasurer in 2015-2016. In 2011-2013, she worked with the IPLA board for the IPLA Trend Report. Prior to being a member of the governing board, she was a member of the steering committee of the Metropolitan Library Section from 2005 to 2009 and was its chair in 2009 to 2011. With the support from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, she was instrumental in implementing the first regional program in Oceania, which was to become the INELI Oceania, or the International Network of Emerging Librarians for the Oceania region. This program engaged 34 emerging leaders from Australia, New Zealand, and South Pacific. Our speaker is indeed a truly admired and well-known mentor, a great source of inspiration to young librarians, particularly in the Oceania region. Our dear graduates, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is truly with great honor and pleasure to introduce to you our recognition speaker for this year's UP SLIS Virtual Recognition Rites, IFLA President, Ms. Mackenzie.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am delighted to be this year's speaker on the occasion of the virtual recognition rites for graduating students from the University of the Philippines School of Library and Information Studies. I would like to acknowledge the Dean of the school, Professor Mary Grace Golfo-Barcelona, and Professor Rhea Apolinario for inviting me. The theme of this celebration is iAGDON, and it is clear why this has been chosen. You have indeed had to struggle hard to achieve what you have done under great difficulties. I am full of admiration for your success. It shows great determination and resilience to complete your studies during this pandemic. I also acknowledge the great work of your lecturers and teachers. It is indeed a very challenging time for everyone. What I would like to talk to you about today is what it means to be a librarian and a leader. I will start by telling you my story. Then I'll introduce IFLA and talk about the role of librarians, and I'll also tell you what I've learned about leadership. Firstly, I'll share my story with you. My childhood was spent on a dairy farm in Victoria, Australia. I was the eldest of 8 children. I milked cows, fed calves, and mucked out the dairy. My aunties, who lived down the road, gave me 2 great loves, reading and cooking. The country school I attended had an excellent library, and from an early age, my Auntie Sheila introduced me to the local public library. I devoured books as a child. I just loved escaping into other people's worlds. When it came to choosing a career, it wasn't that difficult, especially as I knew I didn't want to be a teacher or a nurse, which were the other options for a girl back in those times. So I moved to the big city, went to university, and ended up being a librarian. For over 40 years, I have been practicing as a public librarian and have managed 3 library services. I cannot imagine that any other career could have suited me so well or given me so many opportunities. Early in my career, I became involved in library cooperatives and networks. There was a very active reference librarians group in Victorian public libraries, and I was also part of a school library public library network. These groups were a great way to share information and expertise and meet colleagues who were committed and enthusiastic. Later, I got involved in the Australian Library and Information Association and very much enjoyed the friendship and support that the groups I belonged to provided. 3 events have really defined my professional career. In 1990, I took off with my family for 6 months to do a job exchange at Baltimore County Public Library in Maryland. To call it eye-opening would be an understatement. Baltimore County was led by one of the library world's great disruptors, the late Charlie Robinson, and it totally changed my way of thinking about libraries. 2 years later, I undertook a management course that provided me with a great many tools, and as well, one of the most significant things I have done. The optional subject was simple. Do something that you don't believe you can do. So I parachuted out of an aeroplane at 3,000 feet by myself. After that, I figured I could do anything. The third thing that happened to me was that I was selected to be part of the Bertelsmann Foundation's international network of public libraries. This was in the early 2000s, and I continue to feel the impact of that amazing opportunity through to today and my closest friendships. It is why I became active in IFLA and stood for the governing board, and why I'm president of IFLA. Having a strong supportive network is the best career move you can make. So, that's my story. Now let me tell you a bit about IFLA, the International Federation of Library Associations and Institutions. It was founded in 1927 and has been based in The Hague in the Netherlands since the 1970s. It is a federation of library associations and institutions, although we do have some individual members. Our primary purpose is to advocate for libraries and the communities they serve at a global level. We have over 1,500 members from 150 countries. The lifeblood of IFLA is the work done by over 1,200 volunteers in 60 professional units, which cover all aspects of the profession. 4 years ago, IFLA started a very big project to develop a global vision for the library field. This involved thousands of library workers from around the world. We held workshops, conducted surveys, and engaged as many people as we could. The result was the IFLA Global Vision Statement. Our vision, our future. A strong and united library field powering literate, informed, and participative societies. The Global Vision Report lists 10 highlights and 10 opportunities for the library field going forward, and all this documentation is available on the IFLA website. And from all the input that we got from all continents, including Antarctica, and 190 countries, there was one key finding. We are united globally in our goals and values. 3 of the highlights relate to values, and they are: we are dedicated to equal and free access to information and knowledge across the library field. No value was more highly rated than a commitment to equal and free access to information and knowledge. We remain deeply committed to supporting literacy, learning and reading. Our traditional areas of strength, supporting learning, literacy and reading, are universally recognised as central to the achievements of libraries' missions. And we are focused on serving our communities. Regardless of how we define a community, we have a deep commitment to meeting users' needs. We value diversity, inclusion, and the importance of providing non-commercial public space. These are important values to recognise and remember as you begin your careers as librarians. You are joined to the whole global library field when you embrace these values and practice them. I'd like to now reflect on what it means to be a librarian. You are joining a wonderful profession. Librarians are the best people. I spoke at the Philippine Library Association conference in Quezon City in 2018 about the role of libraries and the United Nations 2030 agenda. Librarians have an important role to play in achieving a sustainable world. We know and believe that libraries make an important contribution to development, and libraries can drive progress across the entire 2030 agenda and the achievement of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. One example of what libraries can do relates to Goal 8. Promote sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. When I was in Quezon City, I was very fortunate to be able to visit the public library, and I saw firsthand how the library there is providing public access to technology and assistance for people who are applying for jobs and using e-government services. The library is not just providing the PCs and internet connectivity, it also has staff there who will show people how to use the technology, how to navigate the websites, and provide support to them. Promoting the UN 2030 agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals is one of the most important things we can do as librarians to make the world more sustainable and fairer. Being a librarian is a privilege and a responsibility. Today, as you graduate, I would also like to talk to you about leadership. I have a book here at home called The Guru's Guide to Leadership. I bought it at an airport bookshelf quite some years ago. It summarises the thinking of a number of management experts who write about leadership. There are 4 principles outlined in the book about what makes a leader. Firstly, genes and early childhood experiences provide the predisposition for leadership. The book says your leadership potential is helped along if you are born with reasonably good mental and physical capacities and have early childhood experiences that put the leadership fire in your belly. Most gurus agree that what happened to you in the first few years of your life make a real difference. These early experiences that seem to matter most are the successes and failures, encouragement and criticism, experimentation, discipline, and so on, that either helped you develop a sense of confidence and need for achievement, or prevented you from doing so. The second is that a liberal arts education lays the broad foundation of knowledge. Education, rather than training, is emphasised as education leads not to technique but to information and knowledge, which in the right hands can lead to understanding, even to wisdom. And wisdom leads to humility, compassion, and respect, qualities that are fundamental to effective leadership. The third principle is that experience provides the wisdom that comes from putting knowledge to use. The gurus suggest that you need leadership experience early in your career, and that leaders have almost always had opportunities during their 20s and 30s to actually try to lead, to take a risk, and to learn from both triumphs and failures. And finally, the fourth is that training puts the shine on behaviour in specific areas, such as communication. Training can be of value if it is targeted to specific skills. It can shine and polish your leadership abilities, but it doesn't build the leadership foundation. That comes long before the training. Today, as you graduate, I'd especially like you to remember the third point. And I'll just repeat it. That leaders have almost always had opportunities during their 20s and 30s to actually try to lead, to take a risk, and to learn from both triumphs and failures. When I was manager at Brisbane City Libraries, we ran a professional development course called Leading from Any Position. Whatever your role, you can make a difference. Take opportunities to step up and to assume responsibility. You are entering a regulated environment regarding ongoing professional development. But it's important that you take responsibility for your own professional development. Take advantage of what your employer offers, but don't have an entitlement mentality. Do your bit too. Volunteer if you believe in you, invest in yourself. Take responsibility for your job, your outcomes, own your position. Own your choices, your actions. Don't have your eye on the next job. Do the job you have as well as you can and to the best of your ability. And don't worry too much about planning. You don't know what will come up and what opportunities will present themselves. Libraries need young leaders to step up. And so when you get the opportunity, just say yes. In these strange times we are living in, it feels like the world is waiting. There is much talk about the new normal and the old normal. Do we really want to go back to what we had? Is there a better way of living, a fairer and more sustainable model that might emerge? Or do we keep reacting, locking down against the power of a dumb virus? I think that there is much to be hopeful and optimistic about. Libraries are going to come out of 2020, a year with more social changes than most of us have encountered in our lifetimes, stronger and more valued than ever. The role of libraries has never been more important to power literate, informed and participative societies. My presidential theme is Let's Work Together. Collaboration is at the heart of our profession. It is part of our DNA. We must work together to make the library field strong. We must also work with like-minded organisations, those that share our goal to strive for a sustainable future for our world. Last week, the global library community should have been gathering in Dublin, Ireland, for the World Library and Information Congress. Like so many conferences, workshops and events, it was cancelled. I was already thinking about what I would say at the opening of the Congress, and I'd like to share a bit of that with you. It's an Irish blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your land. May the rain fall soft upon your face until we meet again. May God hold you in the palm of his hand. You are now called to live up to the University of the Philippines' legacy of honour, excellence and compassion in service of your country. In your chosen profession of librarianship, you will have many opportunities to do this. I wish you all the very best in your career, and I hope that you find satisfaction, fulfillment, and pride in all you do and all you achieve. Congratulations and very best wishes.
A round of applause, please. Thank you very much, Miss Christine. We are truly honored to have with us. To formally express our gratitude for Miss Mackenzie's presence this afternoon, let us have our SLIS Dean, Professor Golfo-Barcelona.
On behalf of the faculty and staff of the School of Library and Information Studies, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Christine Mackenzie for sharing her story and for imparting her valuable insights and encouraging words to iAGDON, the UP SLIS graduating class of 2020. You are truly an inspiration not only to this batch of soon-to-be library and information professionals, but to other library professionals who are celebrating with us today. We also wish you all the best as you continue to lead IFLA. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now, to publicly present our batch of graduates, iAGDON Class of 2020, let us welcome our College Secretary, Professor Rhea Rowena, U. Apolinario.
To our esteemed 2020 recognition speaker, IFLA President Christine Mackenzie, our beloved Dean, Professor Mary Grace P. Golfo-Barcelona, fellow SLIS faculty members, staff, alumni, and guests, good afternoon. It is my greatest pleasure and honor to present to you the 27 graduates of iAGDON, the SLIS class of 2020. This exceptional batch truly represents a group who conquered and prevailed amidst the hurdles thrown their way, pandemic included. From these 27, there are 16 graduates of Bachelor of Library and Information Science and 11 graduates of Master of Library and Information Science. There are 3 cum laudes, 2 cum laudes, and 3 recipients of the LIS Academic Distinction Award. This number of graduates for 2020 will increase as we wait for some students to complete their academic requirements until May 2021, an extension given by the university to students graduating in this extraordinary time. At that time, we will have another recognition rites intended for them. Once again, I present to you the 27 graduates of the SLIS class of 2020, iAGDON.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Rhea. The time has come to honor the members of the UP SLIS iAGDON class of 2020. May I invite all our graduates to get ready to be called and recognized. You may be joined with your loved ones as you are shown on screen. We believe you share your triumph with them as well. In preparation for this program, we have already sent the certificates of recognition to our graduates this afternoon. We formally award these certificates to them. The certificate reads, University of the Philippines School of Library and Information Studies. This certificate of recognition is awarded to the name of the graduate on successful completion of all requirements for the degree of Bachelor or Master of Library and Information Science. Given this 29th day of August 2020, during the 2020 UP SLIS recognition rites held at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City, Philippines. Signed, Rhea, Rowena, U. Apolinario, College Secretary, and Mary Grace P. Golfo-Barcelona, Dean. As the graduates are being called, we will also be commending those who have excelled in their academics. We'll be recognizing our graduates with Latin honors. For this batch, as mentioned earlier, we are proud to have 2 cum laudes. They achieved a general weighted average between 1.75 and 1.451. They will be receiving a medal from the university very soon. We will also be presenting the LIS Academic Distinction Award to 3 of our BLIS graduates. This award is given to those bachelor's degree graduates who have showed academic excellence by achieving a weighted average of 1.49 or better in the LIS courses they have taken. Our LIS Academic Distinction awardees have received a medal from our college. As mentioned earlier by Ma'am Rhea, because of the extension of the period of completion for this academic year, the awards for Best Thesis and the Co-Curricular Awards for Student Leadership and for Student Service are to be given upon completion of requirements for all who are graduating as of academic year 2019-2020. These awards will be given and presented next year. Let us begin with the graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Library and Information Science for first semester 2019-2020. Aquino Priscilla Loren Arceo.
Yay!
Hello.
De Vera Princess Doreen May Reynaldo. Francisco Jeffrey Panti. Ibanez Julia de Guzman. Javier Micaela de la Torre. Takada Vaika Cristal Janela Ergiza. For second semester 2019-2020, Apostol Regina Kim Amador. Contreras John Nigel Lara. Herona John Arjud Kalilap cum laude with a general weighted average of 1.473. Mr. Herona is a recipient of the LIS Academic Distinction Award with an LIS weighted average of 1.42. Isaac Mark Winston Season cum laude with a general weighted average of 1.615. Mr. Isaac is also a recipient of the LIS Academic Distinction Award with an LIS weighted average of 1.36. Nardo Albert Joris Verdadero. Regalado Nico Jose Monteveros. Sipin Ian Dominic Pasicolan. Mr. Sipin is a recipient of the LIS Academic Distinction Award with an LIS weighted average of 1.39. And now, let us proceed with the graduates of the degree of Master of Library and Information Science. For second semester 2018-2019, Reyes Raymond Mendoza. For mid-year 2019, Deloria Michelle Romano. Marco Daryl Manuel Oreta. For first semester 2019-2020, Makasayat Christy Maria Feby Villapando. Paduginog Lizelle Elverio. For second semester 2019-2020, Betia Denise Marie Cruz. Kagin Mary Ruth Ogarte.
Okay, thank you po. Beep, 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 beep.
And last but not the least, Papa Maria Amihan Ver. Again, here are your graduates, iAGDON class of 2020 of the UP School of Library and Information Studies. Congratulations, everyone. To deliver a response on behalf of our dear graduates, here is one of our outstanding BLIS graduates. Let us welcome Mr. John Arjud Kalila Perona, cum laude. Jude, sorry, we can't hear you. Can you unmute, please?
Hello?
Yeah. Can
Hello?
yes,
Can you hear
loud
me?
and clear. Oh, can we start all over again, please? Thank you.
Okay. To my fellow graduates, our parents, families, friends, our SLIS Dean, Professor Mary Grace P. Golfo-Barcelona, our dear college secretary, Professor Rhea Rowena U. Apolinario, the SLIS faculty and staff, our dear distinguished guests, our honorable guest speaker, International Federation of Library Associations and Institutions President, Ms. Christine Mackenzie, and to everyone else watching from home, a pleasant afternoon to all of you. Home. What a transformation this word has undergone. I remember how at the start of this year, everyone was absolutely obsessed with playing the mobile game Adorable Home, not sponsored. An app where you play a stay-at-home husband or wife with the tasks of taking care of your pet cats and preparing your partner's lunchbox for work. But now, here we all are, probably doing the exact same thing, Staying at home all day, probably taking care of a pet or a family member who needs to go outside of the house to work. If only these actions can also be converted to coins too, which can be used to buy furniture or a pet cat or 12. For sure, most of us stuck here at home have been negatively affected by this pandemic in some way. And we are all probably sick and tired of our homes now. This pandemic has brought all of us some form of struggle that we must face. From as simple as mind numbing isolation and boredom at home to fighting for your life because of COVID 19. This pandemic has brought each and every one of us a certain form of adversity. With the things happening around us right now, it is so easy to lose hope. These are dark times we are treading, and the light at the end of the tunnel is still not in sight. A couple of months ago, my very own adversity happened to be trying to graduate in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. And I am sure it was also the case for everyone else who is wearing a sablay right now. My fellow graduates, I would like to request everyone to give themselves a big round of applause from home. Iniagdon natin ito. We succeeded despite the challenges. Graduating itself is already a hard task. Graduating in the middle of a pandemic is just downright ridiculous, right? I hope that we give ourselves credit for this difficult feat that we have achieved. And in a world currently full of darkness, I hope this achievement becomes a light that inspires both we and others to keep going and keep thriving and keep fighting and achieving. And to my fellow graduates, I know that our journey does not end here. In fact, it only has truly just begun. And with the pandemic still looming over us, we as upcoming library and information professionals have a new responsibility of being beacons of truth in a time when information is an oh so invaluable resource, and at the same time, a dangerous weapon. We must uphold our profession with constant vigilance and a firm stand for the truth. As communities continue to be divided during and even before this pandemic, we must recognize information's power to unite people. Polarizing opinions and statements can divide the home and cause chaos. A simple scroll through Facebook would tell us, especially now, that this also applies to our homeland, our country. But this can be lessened or hopefully disappear completely with truth and understanding. As LIS graduates, we are given the power to help in this cause. And as cliche as it may sound, with great power comes great responsibility. Iaagdon natin ito. We can do it. We have to. For our shared home, the Philippines, and our shared family, the Filipino people. To those who are already currently fighting for and upholding true information, we salute you and we stand with you. Iagdon, Iagdon, to achieve something despite difficulty. During this time of COVID 19, I am sure that this word could prove to be more of a challenge than it already is. Certainly is for me. But I have realized some things that continue to help me through this, and I would like to share them quickly in the hopes of letting them help you out too. Firstly, I realized that it is okay not to be okay right now. Our feelings are valid, no matter what our struggles are during this pandemic, when mental health can be very vulnerable. But with this, of course, and I could not stress this enough, is the realization of one's own privilege and recognition of one's own privilege. Secondly, I have learned to not be too hard on myself and to recognize my achievements, no matter how little they are. If there's one thing this pandemic has taught me, it was to appreciate the little things and be grateful for the little things. If you fail to do something, it's okay. The world is already so dreary as it is, and the last thing we need is disappointment from ourselves. Lastly, I have realized the importance of empathy. Indeed, we are all on the same boat in this pandemic. But actually, according to that one viral Facebook artwork, we are on different boats. However, we are on one raging stormy ocean all the same. By understanding that all of us have different battles and coping mechanisms, it is my hope that we can lessen each other's struggles in a way. Quarantines and lockdowns can feel completely isolating. But with empathy, I hope we can at least give each other a sense that we are not alone through all this. Sama-sama nating i-addon ito. We can get through this all with each other's help. Our homes do not have to be limited to what is under our roof in this time of COVID-19, with proper social distancing, of course. I can honestly say and proudly say that one of the biggest places I have learned empathy from during my college life was at the UP School of Library and Information Studies. Like many of my batchmates, SLIS welcomed me with open arms when I thought I had nowhere else to go. I admit, I was a bit clueless at first. Of course, there was still so much fear of the unknown. It wasn't until a few LIS 160 and most especially LIS 51 classes that I got to know more about this world that I stepped into with great uncertainty. I could not believe I was actually enjoying what I was studying and making friends at the same time with the concept, right? Before I knew it, I found a home in SLIS. SLIS not only equipped me with the skills needed to become an LIS professional, but it also imparted me with lessons and realizations that have forever changed me. SLIS introduced me to the world of library and information science, a field which I grew to absolutely adore. For the first time in my life, I finally had a field where I did not feel like an outcast, where I felt like I belonged. SLIS made me experience the feeling of loving what you are studying and having fun in the process. SLIS taught me acceptance and compassion. It made me realize that colleges who actually care for their students still exist. There are still faculties who are very supportive and kind and considerate and who see students as humans, no matter what their background is, and not just people they have to teach and grade. SLIS made me realize that everyone deserves a second chance, provided that they honor that chance given to them and not waste it. SLIS made me realize good things too many to mention in one speech. But I know that whatever they all are, my batchmates have also been touched by SLIS the same way. Apart from these, SLIS also gave me one major thing that I terribly missed during this time of pandemic, my friends that I will treasure for a lifetime. SLIS truly became a true home for me during my undergraduate life. To be abruptly taken away from your home is a very unpleasant experience. And that is exactly how I felt when this pandemic cut my final semester with SLIS short. I terribly miss my classmates, my classes, my friends, my professors, the environment, and even the cats. There wasn't a chance for proper goodbyes, but I know SLIS, my second home, will always be there and I will treasure the memories and learnings forever, and I will be eternally grateful. Mabuhay ang SLIS. Of course, I would not be standing here in front of you, or I guess sitting here in front of the camera, if it weren't for the exceptional people that have helped me along the way. Thank you to SLIS, to my professors, Sir Dan, Ma'am Yhna, Sir Mark, Ma'am Sonia, Ma'am Rhea, Ma'am Rochelle, Sir Johnny, Sir Isip, Sir PJ, former Dean Kate, and most especially to my thesis advisor, Mr. Elijah John F. Darwan. Thank you for your unparalleled support for my thesis despite the pandemic, and for making me fall in love with LIS during our LIS 51 classes. I will forever consider myself lucky to have been your student and advisee. And to Ate Oda and everyone else that comprises the SLS faculty and staff. Maraming salamat po. Thank you to UP. When I got into UP, all I wanted was to graduate. And oh, did it take a while. But now that I am finally here, I can honestly say that I am going to miss UP terribly. Took a long time, but towards the end, I found a home in UP. Thank you, UP, for molding me into what I am today. Thank you to my UP Flip family for being my home away from home. And thank you to the friends I have made throughout this journey. I will treasure the memories forever and look forward to making new ones in the future. Special mention to Hennessy, Nisi, and Rora, the Powerpuff Girls. Although one of them is really more of a Mojo Jojo than a Powerpuff Girl. But I won't tell you who. Just kidding. Thank you to my original home, of course, my family, for always being there to support me. To my mother, Judith, and my father, Arnold, both frontliners. not healthcare workers, but frontliners all the same. I love you so much. This is all for you. To my Tita Maris and Tito Tony, who have been there to help us during trying times ever since I can remember, my eternal gratitude and love. To my Lola Pansing, thank you so much for all your support to me and my family. And to the rest of my family, thank you. And lastly, to God, who gave me strength to do all this. Thank you also to my dogs, Lovely and Chewy, for keeping me company at home during these times of isolation due to the pandemic, and for just being your cute selves. I'm so happy to be stuck at home with you. And lastly, while we are on the topic of gratitude, I would like to express my immense and utmost gratitude to all the frontliners who are currently battling this war with COVID-19 for all of us. No amount of honor and sacrifice can compare to what you are doing for this country and this world, and for that, on behalf of my fellow graduates, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts and we salute you. Thank you for leaving your homes to keep ours safe. You deserve so much more. Sama-sama nating iaagdon ito. We will get through this together. We may be stuck at home and socially distant from each other, or physically distant. But I know that we have made multiple other homes. Homes like SLIS, like UP, homes that transcend the confines of our houses, four walls, and homes with families that we have made that will help us get through this pandemic. And with that, from my home to yours, congratulations to my fellow graduates, the SLIS graduating class of 2020. Padayon, mabuhay ang scholar ng bayan para sa bayan. A pleasant afternoon to all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Herona. We are very proud of your achievement. As he had mentioned earlier, I am personally delighted with his graduation since I saw his growth and I am his advisor. And now, let us witness an audiovisual presentation for our iAGDON Class of 2020 from the UP SLIS Student Council 2019-2020 and the 2020 Graduation Student Committee. Mhm. Mm-mm. Thank you very much for that presentation, dear students, or from the committee. Let me proceed with the message from the faculty. This afternoon, I have been tasked by the 2020 Recognition Committee to speak on behalf of the faculty members of UP SLIS. During our meetings, I have hinted to pass this task to our other faculty members, but the GradCom told us you would really like to hear me speak. The pressure is on me to deliver a message for all of you, our most precious graduates, on behalf of my seniors in the faculty. Not that they are senior by citizenship, but because they all rank higher than me. I needed to echo their voices, what they would like to say to you. To some extent, I'm the Lorax. I speak for the trees. Aside from representing our beloved professors, I feel obliged to give inspiring, motivating, and encouraging words. I must admit that this is somewhat difficult to accomplish these past few days with all the chaos happening around us. Still, I will give my all to express a heartfelt message, carrying the trademark of our SLIS family, which I call Alagang SLIS. In one of our faculty meetings months ago, we have thought of deferring these recognition rights to next year. We want to wait for the time when we can at last gather in a face-to-face event. But I remember Sir Bono raised the point that you students deserve to get a pat on the back for finishing despite the disabling effects of this pandemic. We got the point loud and clear, and the Graduation Student Committee and the Faculty Staff Recognition Rights Committee started to prepare. Truth be told, we were all hounded with the concerns of this event, from supply procurement, shipping of documents, internet connectivity, program technical setup, and data privacy, among so many other concerns. We were very lucky to have a series of webinars prior to this event to practice on. And finally, with a lot of meetings and tech rehearsals, here we are. Today, we honor your achievements, celebrate your perseverance to finish this immense task of university life, and laud your growth in this journey. But most importantly, this afternoon, we also look back. More than a celebration, this recognition rights is also our chance to remember, recollect, and recall. Our time to acknowledge and appreciate. O, di ba? Alliteration yun. Let me start with a more personal note. I was looking at the list of graduates and thought almost all of our bachelor's graduates or the undergrads were my students. I was a witness to each of your progress. I know you are either one of the following: an original BLIS qualifier who chose us in your UCAT form, a relatively rare species, I guess, or I must say, a DPWAS qualifier who chose us during the confirmation period. Many of you are shiftees from another college who would like to start anew, or a transferee from another UP unit or another university who would like to be with us in UP Diliman for a significant reason. For our MLIS students, a few of you I personally know. Maybe you applied for a graduate degree to advance your career, or probably you really wanted to study. Or since you missed us so much, you long to be in UP again. I may not have been your classmate in our LIS graduate courses, but I know the triumphs and sadly the troubles of being a graduate student. As part of the Alagang SLIS trademark, we have kept an eye on each of you since you first came to us. We are no stalkers, but we really took the time to get to know everyone. I know several of our faculty members can describe how you behave in class, how you interact with your classmates, if you are always early or perennially late, or if you are fond of bringing food from the kiosks or chit-chatting with your seatmates during class. Most of you are very good in writing, but some are uncomfortable speaking in public. Based on your posts on social media, we can assume what makes you laugh, angry, or very passionate. We know your struggles, your likings, the things you detest, and the things you hope for. We know some of you juggle day to day work with readings, papers, presentations, and projects. We know you balance your studies with relationships, your family, parents and children included, your org mates, your friends, that special someone probably. From LIS 51 or 201 to your majors, Hello 16 series, your GEs, the choice of your cognates or electives to take, your on-the-job training to your thesis and special problems, from proposals to the actual writing. We were there with you every step of the way. We know you have endured late nights writing thesis chapters, thinking about the so whats, the expounds or elaborates that we give as notes, the X number of drafts, and of course, who can forget the manuscript with the file name LIS 200 super final na talaga promise.docx. Teaching and learning like love is a two-way street. You learn from our courses as much as we teachers also learn from you. We improve the content we are teaching. We enhance our writing and presentation skills to effectively communicate the content to you. We think outside the box and be more critical and creative. We reach out and be more engaged with your concerns. We understand. All of these we do because of you. Our life's journey is a learning process, receiving and sharing knowledge and wisdom along the way. We became better teachers because of you. For that, we thank you, our dearest students. We thank you for letting us into our lives, or into your lives, for allowing us to develop your skills, and for giving us the chance to influence you to become who you are today. I know some of you, or our viewers, are curious of what the batch name iAGDON means. Our souvenir program says that the Filipino word iAGDON is from the root word iAGDON, or agdon, which means to persevere, to finish a task. Kayong mga nagsipagtapos, naiagdon nga ninyo. You have proven yourselves to be capable of persevering and powering through, and you will continue to do so. You will continue to endure and persist and break through. We believe in your potential to be great. Alam kong patuloy kayong aagdon. For many of you, opportunities and choices await. Some already have prospects for promotion or permanence, while some others might still be exploring available career options. Whichever option you choose, remember these words of instruction. Maghahabilin lang ako, ha? Grow in the knowledge and practice of the profession and do your best in what you do. Improve your skills, adopt best practices, and adapt in the midst of all these changes. Remember, Kani, constant and never-ending improvement. In whatever way you can, make things better. A fellow faculty member expressed, librarianship is about what you profess in your day-to-day work and your continuing engagement and development. Be good stewards of information and provide service that is generous and unselfish. Advocate for the growth and development of the information professions. It has been one of my aspirations to change negative stereotypes of Filipino librarians. I hope you can help me in my dream of people having high regard for the librarianship profession. I hope for LIS to be a career most sought after. Champion the values of a democratic society. Empower others to make informed decisions and hear out individual opinions. Continuously campaign for the basic rights of intellectual freedom, equity of access to knowledge, and social justice. Foster an atmosphere where people have the freedom to know and to be heard. Stay true to honor and excellence, dangal at husay in every undertaking. Serve the people, paglingkuran ng sambayanan. With your knowledge and skills, empower them through information literacy. Alleviate the negative effects of information disorder and work towards contributing to the greater good. Aspire for every people to become an information literate citizen. Finally, we hope you won't forget to go back to your roots. Sana'y nariyan pa rin kayo kung kailanganin namin kayo. We hope for your support in the endeavors of UP SLIS in the future. Celebrate with us when we inaugurate our newly renovated SLIS building. Balik kayo sa inauguration, ha? Huwag sana kayong makalimot sa edukasyong inyong natamo mula sa amin sa SLIS at sa UP. To our graduates, congratulations, and we wish for your success in whatever career or vocation you choose to take. Naway patuloy kayong umagdon sa inyong kakaharaping mga pagsubok. Mabuhay at iAGDON. Apadayon iAGDON Class of 2020. Let us now watch some special greetings from our UP SLIS faculty and staff.
Para sa inyo ito, alak. Congratulations sa inyo. Especially Albert. Thank you.
Happy graduation sa lahat. Maging magaling na librarian.
Braver, stronger, smarter, and loved. Happy graduation!
Enjoy! Congratulations to the graduates. Be responsible and be great professionals.
Happy graduation!
Congratulations, Padayon, iAGDON class of 2020.
Congratulations, always uphold honor and excellence.
Congratulations and best wishes for your next adventure. Thank you.
Congratulations, paglingkuran ng sambayanan.
Congratulations, make UP proud. All right.
Congratulations, iAGDON Class of 2020. Tandaan, honor and excellence. And honor before excellence.
Congratulations sa ating mga new graduates and good luck sa inyong future careers.
Congratulations sa inyong lahat and I hope for the best.
Happy graduation to the class of 2020. I'm excited to see where life will take you next. Congrats!
Congratulations, class 2020. Huwag kalimutan ang nakaraan.
Congrats, graduates. Keep safe. Good luck. Padayon.
Maligayang pagtatapos, class of 2020. Padayon sa mga librarian, susunod na librarian ng bayan.
Congrats sa inyong lahat, class of 2020. Good luck!
Hello, batch 2020. Mahal ko kayo. Balik kayo sa amin. Always. We are welcome.
Congratulations, batch 2020. Ingat lagi.
Congratulations, batch 2020.
Warmest congratulations, iAGDON class of 2020, and good luck in your next step in life and career.
Congratulations, class of 2020. Go iAGDON! Padayon!
Congratulations sa mga bagong graduates ng UP SLIS. Mula sa pagiging scholar para sa bayan, kayo na ngayon ang mga bagong librarians para sa bayan.
Congrats! Congrats, iAGDON. Huwag din kalimutan, giting at tapang.
Pagbati sa lahat ng mga magsisipagtapos na lalong higit sa UP SLIS iAGDON Class 2020. Ipagpatuloy ninyo ang pag-angat sa kabila ng mga hamon na dulot ng pandemya ng COVID-19. Padayon.
Congratulations, class of 2020. I'm so happy for each and every one of you. Have a great post-graduation life. God bless you all. Bye!
Isang mainit na pagbati para sa mga nagsipagtapos sa SLIS. Kami ay nagagalak at nagbunga na ang inyong pagsisikap. Hinahangad namin ang inyong tagumpay. Padayon at hihintayin namin ang inyong pagbabalik sa SLIS. Padayon!
iAGDON! Class of 2020!
Hallelujah, Dridge.
Thank you very much to our UP SLIS faculty and staff. And now we proceed to the alumni oath-taking. And to administer the oath of alumni, may we call on the President of the UP Library Science Alumni Association, Ms. Rhea Marie Evangelista Abrigo.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I lead the oath-taking, I would just like to congratulate on behalf of the Alumni Association, everyone for achieving another milestone in your life. And then, like your theme, iAGDON, continue to persevere and achieve the unachievable. Okay? Padayon class of 2020. For our oath-taking, kindly raise your right hand. Okay, I, please state your name.
Both speaking, I would just like to congratulate on behalf of the Alumni Association everyone for achieving another milestone in your life.
Do solemnly swear to do my duties to the best of my ability as a member of the UP Library Science Alumni Association, to respond to the needs of the association and of my profession, and to cooperate with the UP School of Library and Information Studies. So help me God. So again, congratulations, iAGDON class of 2020. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Abrigo. We wish our UP Library Science Alumni Association the best in all of its endeavors. And now we will be formally sending off the graduates of iAGDON class of 2020. With this, may we call on the Dean of the school, Professor Mary Grace P. Golfo-Barcelona.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the Dean of the School of Library and Information Studies, it is with great pride and honor that I present to you the graduates of 2020 who worked hard, persevered, and successfully completed the requirements of their respective programs. The Bachelor of Library and Information Science, BLIS, and the Master of Library and Information Science, MLIS. Congratulations, SLIS iAGDON class of 2020. Let us all give them a virtual round of applause.
As we end our program, we would like to thank our faculty and staff for making our first virtual recognition rites possible. To our College Secretary, Professor Rhea, Rowena, U. Apolinario, and Professor Yhna, Therese P. Santos for coordinating this event. Our thanks also to Professor Jonathan D. Isip and Professor Mark Anthony Santos for handling the technical aspects of this program. Thanks also to Mr. Dridge Paul A. Reyes, Ms. Oda G. Meliton, and all our staff for handling administrative concerns. We also would like to thank the members of the UP SLIS Graduation Student Committee headed by Ms. Mary Jastine B. Ducut, and the chairperson of the UP SLIS Student Council 2019-2020, Ms. Nicole R. Tacuboy. We also thank the UP Symphony Orchestra and its conductor, Professor Josefino Chino Toledo of the UP College of Music. We thank you for joining us in the 2020 Virtual Recognition Rites of the UP School of Library and Information Studies, the first and only CHED Center of Excellence in Library and Information Science. Mabuhay at padayon, iAGDON Class of 2020.
Oh